All right, hello everyone, and we are live on Facebook, and we're
Hello,
just
Facebook
about to. Oops,
world.
go
Yes,
ahead.
yes, and we are live on Instagram too. Hello, hello, everyone. My name is Vita of Vitalia Inc., and I will be joined very soon on Instagram by my dear friend and colleague, Kimberly from WindowWorks.
All righty, here we go. Requesting to join. I'm going to be a little
Awesome.
tiny head on Instagram. Come on.
Okay, I see your request. I accept your request. Oh, Instagram did not want to accept it. Come on.
Oh, there it is. I'm
It's
going.
coming? Okay, awesome.
Yeah, there I am, just a floating head with eyes.
And I am also sending a request to join. Send request. Do you want to tell everyone what we're talking about today?
Okay, today we are going to be discussing beyond window treatments. So if this is your first episode that
In
you're
the
joining
bedrooms.
us, yes, yeah. So
I feel like
there
we're
are
playing
other,
a game. You know that
yeah,
game in the bedroom?
yeah.
That's what we're going to do today.
So we're going to be talking about projects that we have done outside of just outside of the window treatments that we've done in bedrooms. So everything from bedding to headboards and all the good stuff in between. So yeah, so
Awesome. So let's get started. I believe you're first.
okay, so this is a project that we did for Richard Carpenter Interiors. We did the window treatments, so the drapes and the shears in the
Nice,
background that you see there.
nice,
But then
nice.
we also provided the bedding because Richard wanted a custom look for this bedding. So we just did a simple coverlet. It was out of a very nice, like low plush, like cut velvet
Mm-hmm,
almost. So it
mm-hmm.
had a little bit of a pattern. So we made
Okay.
this lightweight coverlet because he didn't want it to be super heavy.
Like not a
Um,
comforter, nothing
Not a
stuffed in it,
comforter,
not a
nothing
fill,
stuffed.
just like
No,
very, very light.
exactly. So we made this coverlet here, and on the other side, so this side had the velvet, and on the other side it had like a contrast, simple cotton lining in
Okay,
that
so it's
same
so that
like
it's not reversible, so they can
no,
only do this side.
yeah. So, but then he also did it in an aubergine color. So it wasn't like
Ah,
something that it was just white lined. So it did
okay.
have a pretty aubergine color. And the cool thing about custom bedding is that it is super custom in that what you really can't see in the from the photograph is we also did a small instead of it being a self welt, we did a
Uh-huh.
contrast like very
Piping all
thin
around.
cord, yeah, from
Okay.
like imagine like the thin cord from like Samuel and Sons, like they're
Oh,
very
okay. So the
like so,
pre-made
yeah,
twisted rope.
pre-made. Yep,
Rope
some
cord.
type of twisted rope. I don't remember the vendor. This was a couple of years ago, but we were able to do that. Now, so with the coverlet, we also did the custom pillows, and he
Mm-hmm.
wanted this large bolster.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted the bolster to basically be the entire width of the bed because the client had wasn't going to put her pillows on the bed, so he really wanted something to anchor the silver pillows that we made for him. So this was probably one of the largest bolsters that I've ever made. This is a king size bed.
King size bed. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, everybody was like, are you sure this is how big? I was like, nope, this is what Richard wants. So we did it out of that same fabric that we did the reverse side of the coverlet. So we made it
Oh,
that way.
okay.
And then we,
So
yeah,
really, the bolster is made out of lining, except the lining is not white, the way we usually think of it.
yeah.
It is in a pretty color.
So it's actually an actual like fabric. So
Okay.
it was a cotton fabric, so it wasn't just like a simple lining. So it's all
Okay.
those little details that went into making this bedding. And
Mm-hmm.
then we also incorporated that same trim, that same lip trim or
Mm-hmm.
cord trim rather, around on the instead of doing a self welt on the edges of the bolster. So
Mm-hmm.
that way it kind of all tied it in together. And then the silver pillows we made two rounds and then a 20 by 20 square all down filled to kind of bring in that the silver gray tones of the window treatments and
Mm-hmm.
the wallpaper. So it was all the little details that went into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it just made the space instead of buying bedding that you could find off the shelf from restoration. I don't even know if Restoration Hardware does bedding, but
Mm-hmm.
from
Macy's
Bloomingdale's
or
or one,
Neiman's,
yeah,
Bloomies, yes. Mm-hmm.
Bloomingdale's. You could really tailor it to the design of the space. And I just feel like it, just like when Vita and I always say, put in a little bit of trim on your window treatments, bring it up to that next notch by doing
Hmm.
custom bedding. You could
Hmm.
bring your clients, design in their
Whole,
bedroom up
yep.
to that next level.
Like elevated to the next
Mhm.
level, exactly. So it's not just the window treatments, but actually in the bedrooms, when you the bed is such a huge part of the room, right? It takes up
Yes.
majority of the room usually. So
And
instead of doing something off the shelf that maybe isn't as pretty or as custom, we can definitely help anyone looking with this as well.
yeah, and I don't know about you, Vita, like, I personally like it when the mattress like, when we already have the mattress so I can measure the exact mattress that it's going on.
That's
I
exactly
don't
right.
like going off of,
Hmm.
like, "Well, it's gonna be this size," because it's never just
Never.
this
It's never
size.
just the size. It's never just the size. And you know what? When you
Yeah,
make a custom anything and you're off by an inch or two, it makes a difference. Maybe
it
you're
w
willing
it
to live with it if it's an off the shelf type of thing, but when something is
right.
tailor made for you, you want it to be right.
Exactly. So we had to wait. This was, pre-COVID era, so this was probably about 6 years ago. So the bed was in, the mattress was in, and we went and we measured it just to
Yeah.
make sure it hit
Mhm.
because if you can see here, there is no bed skirt.
Uh
So it
huh.
does have a frame on all three sides. So it was,
Hmm.
we really put a lot of thought into how long the drop was going to be
Yep.
and how much of it they wanted covered, how much of the upholstered part was outside of the wood frame that they
Yeah.
wanted to see. So it's all those little details that really go into making custom bedding, but that make that key difference when you are sourcing something that's ready made versus custom.
Yeah, I have a story about that for you. So we have this really humongous project that we're doing right now in New Hampshire, believe it or not.
Yes,
So
I
it was a local client. She lived in Bucks County for many years, and a few years ago she sold her house here and moved up to New Hampshire and has now built this humongous custom, I don't even know how many square feet house. It's beautiful. And she is, kind enough, and we're privileged enough to be doing all of her window treatments and bedding. So we've been up to New Hampshire a couple of times. At first, our first trip was just to kind of get the lay of the land and get
hmm
preliminary measurements. And then a couple of months ago, we went up there when all the windows were installed, everything was drywalled,
hmm
everything was trimmed, so we can really take the final measurements. So the window treatments are fine, but her mattress, well, her beds are not in. Her headboard mattresses are not in. So none of this stuff is in. It's all actually in storage in Pennsylvania that's going up there with the truckers and movers at the end of September, October. So we actually don't have the final measurements for the coverlets. And we're doing it for her master bedroom and two guest bedrooms. And at first she
yeah.
was like, well, can't you just like get it done, or can't you just go measure in the storage unit? And we're like, as much as we want to, like, we really, really want everything to be complete. But the right thing to do is for everything to be assembled and for us to wait until everything is assembled and to measure the proper drops, the proper corners,
hmm
the proper widths, the proper lengths, all of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
that's what we're going
but
to do.
but the good thing with bedding is once all that is installed, it's something that you can put in a box and ship to her in New Hampshire. It doesn't require an installer to hang it and everything else. So like that's the nice part about it. I mean, yes, we would always love to be the ones to, you know, fluff the
Steaming and
coverlet,
pressing and fluffing,
getting
yes.
it, get through the whole thing. But in
Mhm.
times like this, there are a little couple of workarounds
I'll
with
tell
that.
you what we're gonna do. I'll share this secret with you. So we're going up there in November to
Uh huh.
install everything, and we're getting there on a Monday. We are
hmm
measuring everything on the Monday, and our seamster is going to make everything on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we're overnighting it back up to not back, but up to New
To New
Hampshire
Hampshire.
to install on Thursday and or Friday,
Yeah.
depending how long it's going to take. Yeah. So that, yes, we could have totally gone the route with, Mrs.
Yeah.
Customer, we're just going to ship it up to you. But, when Mrs. Customer is that kind of caliber and
Yeah.
she's putting us up in like this amazing bed and breakfast and, just really giving us the royal treatment, we want to give the royal treatment back to her.
Yes. That's great.
All right. Okay. Next picture is a project that we did here. It's a Vitalia Ink project. We did it for a very talented designer. Her name is Christina Hank. The name of her firm is Hank Design. And this was a custom headboard. So I don't want you guys to look at bedding here, whereas Kim's picture was all about bedding. This is just, I don't know, regular sheets, and that's just what customer had. And at the time of taking the picture, sometimes you can be like, hey, Mr. Customer, this was a Mr. Customer, can't you just put some pretty bedding on for my picture? Sometimes it doesn't work like that. So we have to do with what we had. So we have this slightly wrinkled bedding. So pay no attention to that for the time being, but do pay attention to this gigantic, amazing headboard. I mean, this was king size in width. And I think this was like a 10-foot ceiling in Center City, Philadelphia. So, and in addition to it being the headboard, we also did the platform bed as well. So we did the
Ah,
entire bed configuration. And if this wasn't enough, wait, there's more. That's right, the bench as well. So we did the entire like bedding configuration, and you can see how the grooves in the bench actually line up perfectly with
send
the
me my
grooves in the headboard.
question.
So
You stole my question.
no
That
detail is left to
yes,
chance.
because I was like, all right, so let's dial this back. Okay, now let's just dissect this a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is it looks like it's in some type of apartment building.
Actually, it is it's like a brownstone in Philly.
Okay,
So
okay,
it wasn't a high rise, so we didn't have to maneuver the elevator. So that was the good part.
okay.
Number
But
one, potential disaster averted.
yeah,
But we did have to maneuver the staircases.
okay, so that was gonna be my second question. So the headboard, those panels, those are three separate pieces that on site you guys put together.
That's correct.
See, this is what happens when you go custom. Because if you were to buy this from a store and then you'd have these lovely delivery companies come in and they would look at the steps and go, that's not happening. And
That's
then you're
right.
going to have to call Sofa Doctor that we have here, at least in
What's a
Jersey and
sofa
New York.
doctor? I don't know what
Oh,
that is.
the sofa doctors here in Jersey and New York that when your upholstery pieces are too big to say either like fit in elevators in Manhattan or up
Oh
your
my god.
stairs, they'll cut it and then us reassemble it on site.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
it's
Can
it's
you imagine?
awesome.
The need is so high and large that there's a company that all it does is it cuts your furniture pieces and then reassembles them
So
together.
yeah, we had a customer here locally in Livingston that ordered a king size headboard upholstered that was like this to the ceiling, and it was getting delivered and it couldn't get up her staircase.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh, the struggle is real. I mean, the amount of time that we have to, hoist something through the window or the balcony or whatever. I know you guys have done it as well. I mean, it's
yeah.
it's a real thing.
So, okay, so tell us a little bit about like how the decision was made to go up that high underneath the soffit in the
Yeah, well,
bedroom.
that's exactly what it was underneath the soffit. It
So,
was a very large bedroom for brownstone in Philadelphia, and Christina, who is the chief designer for all of her projects. I mean, she has a team of I think 8 or 9 people right now, but she definitely is the mastermind behind all of her stuff. She is not afraid to go big and bold
mhm.
in pretty much all of her designs. It's either big and bold in color, or it's big and bold in pattern, or it's big and bold in size, or it's big and bold in proportion and scale. It's just she is not the one to be afraid to take risks. And this was also a male customer too. So
Mhm.
I think you can kind of tell by the color scheme and just like the general feel of the picture too. So she wanted something that was handsome and just really made a statement in the room.
So what we're looking at here is the head-on shot
Hmm.
is the footboard of the bed. So like if you kind of I don't know, I can see it on my computer screen here, but is like the bench over to the left so you not only mimicked the lines of or the headboard met the bench, but you also did that on the footboard as well?
Let me go back. So yes, there is a.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So if the
Yeah.
bench by chance is no
But
longer there, if they
then
needed
you
to move it, those grooves are also aligned in the footboard of the bed. My
so
goodness, Kim.
I am a sucker for a good detail. So those are those kinds of things that you're not going to get from
So
just
impressed.
going through a catalog. It's those little details that really elevate the difference of going from from store bought
Hmm.
to custom. Now, what kind of fabric did we pick? Was it just is it like a faux leather? A vi-
Vinyl, yep, a faux
hmm
leather, yep. And
Yep.
of course, that also presented certain challenges
Yeah.
in the upholstery and the making of it,
Wrapping.
because yeah, I mean, anything that is that tough, it makes it that much more difficult to stretch and wrap and make
Have
it
to use
without
it.
wrinkles and
Uh-huh.
adhere it. Yeah, so this was a feat of design, engineering, upholstering, configuration of it. This was really, really something.
So again, this turned out great. I love the height. I love that it's that faux leather
Mm, thank you.
or vinyl, and it
Hmm.
just came out really great. Great job, Vita.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let me just, before you go and tell us
Yeah.
about this custom bedding, for those who just joined us, I want to take a little commercial break and tell you exactly what you're listening to. This is a Window Treatment Friday Live, or something that we lovingly refer to as WTF. No, no, it's not what you're thinking. It is the Window Treatment Friday. That's what WTF stands for. Although anyone who has done any kind of custom window treatments have had their WTF moment at least once in their lifetime. For
Yes.
Kim and I, with 10, 20 years experience, we have had many. And that's what we're here to share with you: some inspiration, some education, some of our lessons, some of the things to do and not to do. And we hang out here every Friday morning at 9 a.m. So join us. Usually it's about window treatments. Today we go a little bit beyond the window treatments in the bedroom and talk about bedding and headboards.
Okay. So
So do
this.
tell us about this lovely thing.
Oh, and no Echo Friday. Yay.
I think we figured it out, Gina.
Yeah.
Thank you. Or
Um.
I figured it out. I was the culprit.
So for this project, this is an oldie but a goodie. So this was custom bedding that we actually made for a model apartment in Jersey City.
Hmm.
So we did this for Roseland Properties with their designer Joan Stapleman,
Hmm.
and I forget how many times this project was saved on House. This is how long ago we
Wow.
did this, but this is definitely um, a custom bedding that we've actually had calls for us to like recreate and ship it to people all over the all over the
Oh
country.
my gosh, really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
So the cool thing about Joan when she was doing the models for Roseland Property is she spared no expense when it came to bedding. Like the fact
Mm.
that she did custom bedding like this for a
Hmm.
model,
For a
and
model, that's a big deal. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, and like she won an award for this model,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, so this was a really pretty floral fabric. I again, this year we're going back. This was probably 11, 12 years ago, but that's how this bedding has standed the
Hmm.
test of time.
Hmm.
And we did an actual comforter. So unlike the first
Yep.
example where it's just like a simple coverlet, she wanted an actual comforter. So no, this wasn't like a duvet cover. It
Hmm.
was it was
So it's
about
pre-filled already.
pre-filled. So it's about 12-ounce fill. So
Hmm.
there's different levels of ounces that you can pick
Was it down or
for.
was it Dacron?
I believe because it was a model, it was Dacron. We weren't
Uh-huh.
going to go too crazy with
Right,
it.
right,
I
right, right.
again,
That makes
but
sense.
yeah, she did. She went for it, but she didn't. Always. She didn't need to go that far. But
Definitely.
so for here, she wanted it to feel really luxe and really luxurious and feel like you were in like an upscale hotel because you have this
Hmm.
gorgeous view of New York City from these floor to ceiling windows, and she really wanted to you know, give you that vibe and
Hmm.
understand like living here, this is the kind of ambiance and atmosphere that you could have.
Hmm.
So not only did we do the comforter, but we also did the standard shams out of the same
Hmm.
fabric. And
Hmm.
then we did €2 and a pretty little kidney pillow in front out of a different,
Mm.
out of, aubergine fabric because this was the aubergine room.
Hmm.
So again, if this wasn't a model but was your client's bedroom, just look at the lux of this. You could see again, no bed skirt because who really does
It's a
bed skirts
platform,
anymore?
right?
Yeah, it's a platform bed.
Huh?
So for this one, because again, it was a model, and Vita, you know, with working with models, time is
Yeah.
of the essence. So it was just like it's a king
And
size
budget.
bed.
So it's amazing
Yeah,
that she even splurged on bedding because anyone, little dirty secret of any
yeah,
kind of model merchandising is budgets are low, low, low,
yeah,
low. So
yeah,
we all
and
have to become magicians at creating
yeah.
something amazing that wows potential buyer, but on a beer budget.
Yeah. So for this one, because of the spectacular views of the city, they opted not to do any window treatment. So whatever she would have done window treatment wise, she really threw into the bedding. And I really think it just enhanced the space.
It's
So
beautiful.
here it's just an example of, again, how custom bedding. She got to pick the gorgeous fabric that she wanted to use.
Mhm.
Um, and then again, we went with the purple, and it was also contrast lined with that purple fabric on the other side. She didn't want to do the
Okay.
whole white, like a
Uh-huh.
standard white lining,
Yep.
because this was Joan, and that like absolutely not. So
Well, and also
even
it
though,
peeks through,
yeah,
like
yeah,
and it doesn't look right.
so you could almost see like the other corner that's hanging
That's right.
over on the far right side. You see that purple sticking through. So
That's
finding the
right.
right shade of purple that went with it was also, part of the fun, and finding what was in stock and what could be made in 2.2 seconds. So,
Yes.
but yeah, but this is just another example of, if you want to go the custom bedding route, look, if you're ever working with a fabric and you're like, this would be great, but I've no place that I want to use it. This is an example of, you can use something that has a big pattern, and really, if you love
Mhm.
pattern, this is
Mhm.
another place that you can use it, is with the bedding. Because I feel like a lot of bedding right now is just like plain white.
It is. And I do have to say, like, this project was done, like you said, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah,
And those were the colors that were trending back then.
yeah,
But I have to tell you, even though the trending colors now are what, like, neutrals and beiges
yeah.
and grays and solids and all that, there's something about this project, like you said, it's so timeless. Like, I'm really, really attracted to it, even though one may say that aubergine or purple is not exactly on trend in 2022. Is that where we
Hmm.
are? But
Yes.
there's something about it that is so attractive to me. It's like the picture's like pulling me in almost because of those
Yeah.
beautiful, rich hues.
Yeah, it was a fun one. We always enjoyed working with Joan and seeing what she would want to come up with in these models. So
She did a fabulous job.
of all the beddings that we have done over the years, this one by far is probably my favorite.
Nicely done. All right, so this is a project that is one of ours, done by Vitalia Inc. And again, here, the way we kind of split it with Kim today is she's talking about bedding, and I'm talking about headboards. And this is another headboard that was created by Vitalia Inc. for a customer here in Bucks County. And not only was this a headboard, but it is actually a full platform bed. And Kim, to your earlier point, who does bed skirts anymore? Even though we do a few bed skirts and we are doing a few for that New Hampshire project, but I have to tell you, we are doing uh, a lot more fully upholstered
Sides. Hmm.
beds with
Hmm.
sides, sideboards, and footboards, just like this, so that there's
Hmm.
no need for a bed skirt. And this looks much kind of cleaner and more streamlined. So this was a lovely customer, and she gave us pretty much full reign. This was in her guest
Mm.
bedroom, yeah, and she didn't really have any like furniture to speak of, any color to speak of. So this was just kind of like a builder's grade beige. I think she did have one painting that was very bright in color, and we pulled one of the colors from that painting, and that's how we arrived at this particular color. And other than that, we showed her a picture of something like this that we've done previously. She fell in love, and she's like, yep, that's what I want. Let's go for it. So this is a close up. You can see that it has a little bit of like faux tufting with buttons. And the hero in this close up is the really um, understated, kind of cute, if you will,
Hmm.
self piping that is inset about 3 to 4 inches from the edge. You can also see that this is a boxed headboard, even though it does not have, usually boxed headboards have like piping on each side of the box. We
Yeah.
opted out of that because we have that piping inset, but it is something different than just a wrapped. I kind of usually think of just purely wrapped headboards as more traditional, and boxed as a little bit more transitional type of style. And then here is another close-up. This is of the footboard and the sideboard, as well as the leg. So we she wanted to make sure that it stood on legs. It wasn't just like totally like flat on the floor.
Hmm.
So we purchased these unfinished legs. You can do that. And we just had it stained to kind of coordinate with the flooring and some of the wood grain in the floor. So she was just in awe. She loved it, loved it, loved it, and so do we. Now, there's a lot of actually work and mathematics and calculations that go into creating platform beds. The one tip that I can give to our listeners is if you do create one, make sure to leave about half an inch to an inch between the mattress and the sideboards and between the mattress
Hmm.
and the footboard, because
Yep.
when you put your blanket, not blanket, what do you call it, comforter or coverlet, you don't
Hmm.
want it to be hanging over something that you've just custom upholstered. You really kind of
Yeah.
want it, especially if you like a more of a tailored look, you really want to tuck it in. So by creating, depending how thick your comforter is, you want to leave anywhere between half an inch to an inch so that you can tuck it all in and have all of that upholstery around the footboard and the sideboards visible.
It also makes it easier for making the bed,
It is
like with
like
the
chuk, 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 chuk,
mattress.
chuk, chuk. And
Yeah,
that's it,
like
right?
just putting that, like, you know, fun fitted sheet around the
Mm-hmm.
corners and just trying to lift it up. And you can tell that's my least favorite thing when it comes to making the
You
bed.
don't make your bed every
I-
day, I take
Oh,
it.
no, no, I do. That's like the number
You
one rule.
do?
Yeah, no, no,
Wow.
no. Pillows on it, everything, the whole 9 yards. No, no, no.
Wow,
I'm
I'm
talking about
impressed.
like
I don't.
every every Sunday when I change my sheets. It's a group project. Carlos helps me
Oh,
because
yes,
he does
definitely.
like the hospital corners and he
Oh,
gets them
really?
tight. And I'm like, yeah. As soon as we put the fitted sheet on together, the top sheet, I'm like, that's all you, homie.
You're like,
Go
that's it,
ahead.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm putting the pillowcases on the pillows, and then we'll dress the bed. But yeah, no, no, that's definitely something. Whoop, that's definitely something that's a rule. Bed has to be made.
Nice rule.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty, everyone. Well, that concludes today's episode beyond window treatments. So we talked about bedding and headboards for bedroom projects that we have done in the past. But before we let you go, there's a couple of free goodies that we just want to let you be aware of. If you are new to the window treatment game and you're really just getting started, whether you're an interior designer or a homeowner that you're looking to add window treatments to your next project or your home, please head on over to the WindowWorks website and download your free copy of Architectural Digest Isn't Coming 10 Things You Need to Know About Custom Window Treatments.
And from our company, Vitalia Inc., we also have a free goodie for you. It is a curated lookbook filled with inspiration and information and education. It's called 37 and a half window treatment ideas for you to swipe, steal, and use immediately on your next design project. And you can get yours at vitaliainc.com.
And although it is the second or third week of August, I have no concept of time right now. Summer is still not over. And if you are still interested in getting an awning and you just, again, don't know where to start, head on over to WindowWorks. We have a free custom awning buying guide. So five mistakes you can avoid when buying a quality awning.
Nice.
And to keep up with all things Miss Luann, because she has a lot of stuff happening in the pipeline, from what's going on at High Point to all the podcasts that she does now. Now, it's not only a well designed business, she also launched a new podcast, Window Treatments for Profits. But if you want to listen to of the
Window
audio
treatment
version
Friday.
of yes, Window Treatment Friday, head on over to the to Luann's website where you can get all those past episodes.
Mhm. And Kim mentioned that the second podcast that Luann launched, the Window Treatment for Profit, I am honored and privileged to have a recurring weekly um, host seat, I guess it would be called, or I have a series that comes out every Thursday. I call it Vita's Tip in 10, and it is a small tip, but always a mighty tip that can set your window treatment business for a elevated level of a higher success. So make sure to give it a listen.
And if you are in the New Jersey and New York area and you have a custom bedding project that you need help with, or a window treatment project or an awning project, please send us a DM on Instagram, email us, or send us a PM on Facebook. We would be happy to help you on your next project.
And the same goes for us here, but in the Philadelphia area. If you are an interior designer who is ready to fly first class in the world of window treatments or bedding or headboards or custom upholstery, if you are looking for that partner to have your back and really support you in every which way, we would love to be that person for you. Give us a call to see if we're a fit.
Alrighty, everyone. Well, that concludes today's episode number 109. Next week, I will be solo. Vita is going to be on vacation with her family. So, we are going to be covering the topic of awning installations that we have done over the summer so far.
Yes.
So, if you want to see everything that's been kind of happening in the awning side here at WindowWorks, please join me next Friday at 9 a.m.
Awesome. I can't wait to watch while on the deck or a dock or somewhere by the water.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to us, for being here. Please join us here every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern for the next episode of Window Treatment Friday Live.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.